Good morning, guys. I'm out here in West Texas, and I actually went to the range a few weeks ago to take my little boy out there to shoot his 1022, and I ran across this gun while I was out there. I didn't know much about it. I just liked the style. It's an AK style shotgun. This is made by JTS. I hadn't done any research on it or actually seen the issues that many other people were having as well. So I decided to buy it for the price. It was pretty fairly priced. And while I was there, I bought some shells and decided to actually take it out to the range and shoot some targets. After the second to third round, it was disappointing because it would start jamming up immediately after I bought it. I figured, you know what? Let's take this home and I'll see what's wrong with it. Maybe I can do something to make it more reliable. So within the next few clips, you'll see me actually having those issues, as well as some of the other clips will show what I did to actually make this more reliable. Okay, so we're gonna start by pushing this little button in, taking this up. We're gonna disassemble this shotgun. Now, right here, this little area right here, I actually took a little Dremel tool and slightly gently filed it down, as well as the firing pin right here. So you can see it's pretty smooth. When I first got it, this was really rough. The milling work was actually really rough. I also smoothed out this area right here, and I actually got 320 sandpaper and gently filed the little edge on this rail. That was pretty rough as well. Once I filed it down with the 320 sandpaper or sanded it down, I actually used like a 500 or 600 and got it pretty smooth so that it goes back and forth on that rail. As you can see, I also used the little Dremel tool on this part right here. This was pretty rough. There's a pin that goes right here, that goes through, that holds this part right here. All of this was pretty rough. The mill work was actually pretty rough. I gently got the small Dremel and gently just sanded it down. There's some little tips on the Dremel that you can actually use, but I gently just used it to file it down, get it smoothed out. And then I used the 500 sandpaper to kind of get it really smooth, really well. Also, right here, this part right here, that part right here was pretty rough, as well as you can see where it's kind of smoothed out on the edges. That was me doing the sanding with the sandpaper. And this actually worked pretty well after I did this. I also smoothed this out. The millwork on this part was also pretty rough. I gently got that sandpaper on the Dremel and gently just kind of started getting the rough edges out, and then use sandpaper to get it smooth. I did that on the edges. I also did this right here. And this part right here, I actually filed it down gently to like a 45-degree angle. I don't know if you could tell. There's a little lip right there. So you gotta make sure you don't file that lip. But if you can file it down just gently to like a 45-degree angle and clean these up, you'll be pretty good. It'll actually fire without getting jammed. We'll be putting this back together. Make sure you do get this little area right here and the rails. Once you do all of that, just put a little bit of oil and make sure it cycles properly, and then take it out and try it out. Just, if you mess up your gun, that's on you. This is just to help you guys understand what was going on with mine. So this is what I did, and it worked. If you guys have issues by the work that you're doing, don't blame me. All right, stop it. Okay guys, I felt like I needed to show you guys the kind of Dremel that I used. I used this cheap Dremel. I bought this at Harbor Freight. I didn't want it. I do have a good quality Dremel, but the RPMs on that Dremel are extremely fast, and I could actually take off more than what I want to take off when I'm doing this kind of work. I use this one because it's very low powered, and when you sand, you just gently sand. You know, when you have it in rotation, when it's actually on, you gently just, you know, file the rough edges. Don't just start going over and over. No, gently file what you feel needs to be taken off before you start sanding. Use a low power tool, not something that's gonna take big chunks of your metal out. I figured I should at least show you the kind of Dremel that I was using. I think I paid like $10 for this at Harbor Freight. You can use the other Dremel, the big heavy duty Dremels. Just be careful when using those, because those do spin at very high RPMs, and you can actually do more damage to your gun than what you want to do. Here's an empty 12 gauge shell. I also have an empty 12 gauge shell in the chamber. It's not loaded, it's already been shot. I'm putting that in there for reference. So what's happening in this little section right here, it was getting jammed. Right there where the shell hits that little part right there, that's where it gets jammed. That's where you need to fire.